You guys probably already know what's going on. So, for those of you interested in the survival series and how the progress was going with that, unfortunately, well, we don't have our save anymore. You see, I brought my computer in to have some upgrades done to it. I had my hard drive switched out for an M.2 drive, which is basically an incredibly fast SSD. For those of you who are very techish and nerdish and stuff, well, then you can appreciate the speed that an M.2 drive brings to the table. And well, unfortunately, since I guess a lot of my saves and a lot of my files were on this hard drive that was very slow and upgraded, when I had everything cloned over to the M.2, unfortunately, I ended up losing all of it because the files were incompatible. I had Windows 8.1. The M.2 drive did not like Windows 8.1. So I ended up, basically, I had to have a fresh install of Windows 10 put on, and I have all of my other files now. Like, everything else is good, except for my, like, templates and stuff for editing. I had to redo all that last night, but everything else is good, except for the fact that, well, Subnautica was on my C drive, which I didn't realize it was on my C drive. So I am so sorry. I don't know how we're going to continue the survival series. I'm sure there's a way. Anyways, guys, welcome back to Subnautica. This video isn't about the survival series anyways. I have a lot of information for you about the Arctic DLC and some fresh new information. The Gargantuan Leviathan is still in production, so hopefully I'll have an update for you very soon with the final product. I don't know why I went in there. As far as the Arctic DLC, we've been teased by the developers with a lot of images and concept art for things that could appear. So as you guys probably already know, there is going to be a female protagonist that leads Subnautica's expansion. Now, we're no longer going to play as Riley, obviously, which is this guy right here who we've been playing as for basically the entire time. I don't know if this is another conceptual art of him or not, but the female survivors, I assume, will be either this girl or this girl. I'm not sure if they'll add the option to have a skin color or not and change, I guess, how you look in general, more or less. But no, this is the person that you are most likely going to play as if the Arctic Biome DLC comes out and follows the line that they want to go through, more or less. Now, it also looks like we have something that looks like an Arctic reefback. Now, this is conceptual only. There is no guarantee that this thing will make it into the Arctic DLC. However, it's kind of interesting to see things like this for the main point that, I mean, it makes sense in my mind to have an Arctic reefback. The reefback is such an iconic creature within Subnautica. It's one of the first giant creatures you see. They're peaceful. They don't hurt you. And I mean, everything about this one basically screams the Arctic biome. Not sure why it has so much extra front plating up right here or whatever this is, unless it's, you know, fat to keep its insides safe, I guess, that are in here. I don't know. But I mean, still, it's cool to see this conceptual art. They don't know if they're going to use it yet or not. They're not 100% sure on any of that. But it is still really cool to see that they're going to be thinking about putting this guy into the game, and they're coming up with ideas now for these glow whale creatures. Now, what this is right here, I don't know what these are right here. I have no idea. They kind of, hang on, let me zoom in on this image a little bit because I have a suspicion. Okay, so originally I had actually thought they might be a type of penguin creature because we saw video footage of penguins in the Arctic DLC a while ago when they were actually testing, you know, how creatures would act on ice shelves and stuff like that. We did see penguins, but they were obviously not the penguins they wanted to put into Subnautica if they were even going to do that. At a glance, and with the image small, it looked like these guys right here were actually going to be how those penguins looked. But now that I get a bit closer, it looks like they're more or less just plants or some kind of plant-like structure. It looks like they have eyeballs right here, these yellow dots. But I don't think that's eyeballs. I think that's just the structure of the plant. And honestly, I think this is just the same plant flipped over here and then put up right here again. It's basically the exact same thing. So that's probably why it looks like that. And on top of that, I don't think the penguins, if they add them, will resemble the physique of a garden gnome. Keemstar, you don't have a place in Subnautica. I'm sorry, man. It's just not going to work out for us. Otherwise, you could see there are arrows pointing down towards these sections right here. I'm not sure what the deal is with this. Maybe there's something inside this little chamber right here or something like that. We see it has its normal propulsion system or however this thing collects food, I assume. I'm not sure. I just know the reef back in Subnautica has this little hole-like thing too. And obviously this stuff right here, I'm not sure. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it. I want to know what you think about it ultimately in the comment section. Come up with your own ideas. And I mean, hell, make your own conceptual art and tweet it over to Charlie. Maybe he'll like it and use it as some inspiration. And now we move into another creature, which is kind of squid-like in nature. This was teased over on their Discord server a while ago, and it's also on Charlie's Twitter currently. I have no idea what the idea behind this creature is. It looks like a mixture of one of those really weird crab squid thingy like thing. Not a crab squid itself, but like one of those squiddy thingies that you find they're not hostile in the caves, and like maybe one of the other normal fish that you find on the island. However, this one actually has two big pincers on its face, which obviously could do some serious damage. We don't even know how big this thing is. I would imagine it's going to be small. I mean, the body shape and the body type, how it seems. I mean, I could imagine this being the size of a peeper or something like that, maybe a biter. But the thing that worries me is these pincers right here, because those, I'm pretty sure those could puncture skin or even a dive suit and do some serious damage to you. Everything really hurts too when you're cold. You ever notice that? Yeah, so I feel like this guy could be a bit of a threat. Now, again, it's not stated whether or not this guy will be in the game. It is just some non-committal teases and artwork and different stuff like that. However, I do have an art station from someone that I think is working on some of the conceptual art for Subnautica, and they have some very interesting stuff over there as well. But first, before we get into that, I want to show you guys something that is also confirmed that we had suspected for a while. So hold on to your butts. So this was uploaded 22 hours ago, and the question was made, how will they look like in the finished model? I'm not sure if this creature is, if this pertains to the glow whale or if this pertains to the Arctic reefback, whatever. I think the glow whale, because I think the glow whale is a separate entity altogether. And then we had Mr. Penguin Guy himself respond to, I can't say your Aki. I'm going to call you Aki, okay? Subnautica backwards, Aki. He actually has a YouTube channel. Go check him out. But he actually responded to the post with this. So in my books, that basically confirms that the glow whale is one of the creatures people want to see and they want to put into the game. Now, the funny thing about this, I just noticed it. If you touch a glow whale, you see this weird, I don't even know what this is. Maybe there's going to be some kind of bonus we get or something will happen when we actually make physical contact with this creature. Maybe they will be able to illuminate a dark ocean in the middle of the night. Hence the term glow whale. Whether or not they will be dangerous, I don't know. I would imagine they could be dangerous if they have their mouth open when they're trying to filter feed or maybe even try to feed normally, if you're in the way of that feeding stuff, but otherwise I'd imagine they'd be safe to be around. What this diver over here is doing, I'm really not sure. Why there are even two divers, I don't know. That's actually kind of weird, to be honest with you, but it is only conceptual art, so I don't see why they couldn't use two divers on a piece of concept art when it's only going to be one of us playing the game, unless maybe that's a secret little nod that eventually in the future you might be able to play with friends, or that's their intention, because they know how badly you guys wanted Subnautica to be multiplayer. They understand that. They know Subnautica was massive. It was absolutely massive that they get multiplayer in, but they were just not able to do it with the storyline and how things were working out, I guess. I just want you to also keep in mind that even though I have my own crazy theories, my crazy theories might not be correct. So the two divers, I'm sure there's other concept art out there that's official for Subnautica that shows more than one diver, but I really just wanted to pay particular attention to detail in this one image. Two divers. You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I am on the fence, but we all know the Subnautica developers are very, very aware people wanted Subnautica to be multiplayer. I straight up feel like the YouTube Alex Jones right now. If you don't know Alex Jones, I'm not going to go into it, but that's how I feel. Anyways, we are now on Pat Presley's Art Station, not DeviantArt. And they are a freelance concept designer. They basically make incredibly detailed conceptual art for games, more or less. Now, I guess a lot of this down here is just useless. Like, it's not pertaining to Subnautica in a way. Well, okay, some of it is actually. Wait, isn't this the Atlas submarine? Yeah, I think that's the Atlas submarine. Okay, anyways, I'm going to move on from that because I feel a copyright strike coming in that's unnecessary. I'm going to move up right here. Now, these two little guys right here were the center of a lot of attention because a lot of people believe that these two concept pieces right here were creatures that were coming into the Arctic DLC if the Arctic DLC ever makes it to us. Well, unfortunately, no. These creatures were concept art made ages ago for the original base game of Subnautica. Unfortunately, they did not make it into the game, and I can see why. I can understand why. They don't really seem like they fit into the ecosystem that they have currently. They're just very different. I don't understand. Now, that doesn't mean we've lost all hope. There is a chance that they may revisit some of the old concept art that they had created in the past, because obviously it costs money to have this stuff made. It's not, you don't get this stuff just made by the goodwill of people. They need to make money so they can, you know, feed themselves or their children or clothe themselves or whatever. But that doesn't mean this guy right here won't make it into the actual game. So don't lose all hope. I think it's a really interesting creature. I think the top one could work out in the Arctic DLC, maybe even the bottom one too. But I know some lizards have properties to handle cold temperatures, so who knows? Maybe we'll see something like that. And here is another very, very old concept art piece for Subnautica. I remember seeing this on Google, actually. Now, the interesting thing about this one, again, is that people thought it was coming to the DLC. And I mean, that's still a chance, still entirely a chance, okay? It could possibly be a chance. Don't lose hope for that, because this is a really cool creature, too. I love the concept of this. However, it is not a creature that was designed for the DLC. This creature was created ages ago, just like the other one, as conceptual art for a creature they could have put into the game. However, it did not make it into the game, unfortunately, again. And it looks more like a sea slug like creature. I'm not sure what it's going to be called or anything like that, or if it even had a name at that point. It still looks really cool. So don't lose hope. There is a chance it could possibly make it. We have some creature. Wow, that looks really, really cool. Okay, yeah, so this guy did this one too. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love this guy's artwork so much more now. This one's really cool too. This is really weird, actually. But yeah, this is just very early creatures again for the game. So I can't stress enough that, you know, I know there is some information out there right now, and I know it's rich coming from me, you know, like wrong information going out into the community. You better watch out, guys, because sometimes I'm the one that's also misinformed saying this. But I want to try and correct a couple of things that are going out in the community, and I want to let you guys know that some of this stuff is actually from very early in Subnautica's creation, not the DLC that we are expecting. Okay, yeah, so then that's where this guy came from too. Oh, they are so cool. I hope, dude, I want to see this stuff in the Arctic DLC. That would be so cool. Oh my God, Pat, you've got some crazy talent. Let me tell you something, bud. This is some of my favorite concept art ever. I really want to see this stuff in the Arctic DLC. That would be incredible. That would be like next level. Oh my God, this guy's just epic. Damn. All right, I'm gonna move off of this, guys. So that brings us back into Subnautica and where we are right now. Now, I did play the game a little bit in the background, as you had seen, and yes, I have used a couple of cheats to try and help me get to the point where I was a little faster, because I have a lot of hours of gameplay ahead of me to try and get back to the point of where the survival series was. And I mean, thankfully we hadn't made the rocket, because the rocket's just expensive as all hell, so I got really lucky in that. But as far as the Arctic stuff, that's really all the information I have right now. And we got those teasers. That one fish with the hooks in its mouth, I'm not sure what to think of it just yet. I've taken some time to really digest the images a bit more since I've edited this video together, because I actually edited all of this while I was recording at the same time. So I don't even know if this is going to work out, because I'm using a new setup, and it's like, M.2 drives are super fast, but oh my God, this is a headache, because I had to remake all of my freaking templates for editing. But anyways, back into the game. I took some time to look over the images a little bit longer, and like there are certain features that stick out with these creatures. Let me just show you what I mean, actually, because I'm just, you know what? Let me just do this right here real quick, because there was a creature that I wanted to show you guys that reminded me of like a crossbred breed between these two creatures. Let me just see. You're in the caves. I know that. I can't even say words right now. Like, I'm so worried the editing is just not going to work correctly, or the recording right now is just messing up. I've had to re-record this like 5 times, by the way. It reminds me of a combination between the Garyfish's beak. Come here, let me pick you up. Are you the Garyfish? You're the something fish. The beak this guy has, which you can very subtly see at the very end of its mouth. And also, a little less accurately, the creature that's down here. It's like, it's got the tentacles. It's like, it looks like a squid, almost. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. It's inside caves anyways. Maybe it'll be in here. These things right here. It reminds me of these. And, like, it's not really a big resemblance, obviously, but it just reminds me of it in a way, for some reason. Now, as far as, like, those, I guess, chameleon-looking things or whatever, they're really old concept arts. Like, these are before Subnautica was even completed. Like, I'm assuming very early stage development of the game even. So, there's no real guarantee those will come in. I don't see how they would recycle those and bring them in, but they were cool concept art pieces. And on top of that, the glow whale itself, I think that's confirmed. I'm like 90% sure that's at a point where they've confirmed that. Now, what am I doing with this? I'm actually bringing this all the way down into another zone. If I can find it. I probably built it in the like complete opposite direction where I'm supposed to go, but I want to bring it into that biome with the whatchamacallit things, the eel like freaking lizards. What's wrong with me? I can't even commentate today. But yeah, that's the idea behind that. I think it's just because I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated trying to make this video, and like I'm still having fun doing it because I love editing and stuff like that, but it's you guys don't want to hear me ramble, do you? No, you don't. And finally, I'm going to move into the hoobity-waddy thingy. The idea of multiplayer. Now, something that everyone's neglected, really, and everyone's kind of not mentioning at all is people really wanted to see this game as multiplayer. There's a multiplayer mod out right now that I need to try and start a series on, but unfortunately the mod isn't totally working yet. But there is a multiplayer mod, and people love the idea of Subnautica being multiplayer. I love the idea of Subnautica being multiplayer. I wanted this game to be multiplayer so freaking bad. It's just something I really wanted to see. And the community wanted to see that too. And this was way back when I barely covered Subnautica. Like, I barely did anything with this game. It's not to the point where it is today, where a lot of people come here for information and news about the game and occasionally clickbait. It's not like that at all anymore. So I think there is real potential if they go into this with the idea of it potentially being a multiplayer game and gearing towards it being a multiplayer game. I think there is true potential there to make Subnautica, the DLC at least, into a multiplayer expansion where you and your friends can gather resources together, build bases together, and experience even a storyline together. It's possible to do because we see this in the multiplayer mod. We see that in the multiplayer mod. Explode, come on. There you go. We see that in the multiplayer mod where we can actually experience events together and we can do things together that otherwise were seen as impossible. So it's definitely not impossible. You could synchronize to leave me alone. Oh, there's two. Ooh, go away. No, you're not gonna get me. Sucks to be you. That's the idea, though, guys. At this point, I'm just rambling and repeating myself. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I have so much stuff to do. It's not even funny. So this might be my only video upload today and stuff like that. I got a lot of stuff. I'm so frustrated. It's not even funny. And I'm sorry I'm rambling so much about me. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, the guy that plays video games for a living. Feel bad for me. Oh, so bad. It's just a lot of work. I have a lot of preset templates to make, and I could probably make it better now. This video is probably going to have bugs in it too because of it, but that's it. M.2 drive. That's the cost of upgrading your system with some of the fastest hardware out there. On the bright side, I would suggest if you guys have the money, go ahead, get yourself an M.2 drive because it's ridiculously fast. I blink and load games. Games don't stutter. Games, the data is just there. It's like you've got the game preloaded, ready to go with an M.2 drive. But that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on everything you've seen here. No updates on the Gargantuan Leviathan yet. And I feel like I messed something up there. Oh, well. Guys, I will see you in the next video.